Yeah, and I just got done speaking to I just came back because I wanted to, kind of shore up the last video I did really quick. I was speaking to the younger generation, but at the same time, I was speaking to my generation and the generations beyond this. I was speaking to everybody. It's all of us, because, like younger people like to think, well, when I get older, stuff like this won't matter. Oh, but it will. It will. Why do you think people chase money down? Why do you think people make an idol? Why do you think people, you know, because not only are we brainwashed to think that if we don't have, if we lack in a certain department, it goes from being a kid. You're judged based on your clothes. You're judged based on your friends. You're judged based on your popularity, whatever. I don't even know, whatever. But when you're older, you're judged based on other things. It doesn't end. It really doesn't. And a lot of us adults are so much worse than kids, man. It's just wow. It doesn't end. Trust me, I'm telling you right now, it doesn't end. Like, you think once you hit a certain age, you could just sit around and be who you want to be. Society won't let you do that. That's what you don't understand. You can't be. You have to make that decision to just just wave. You have to get to the point where you see how fake this world is, how fake the people are. And I don't mean that in a spiteful way, but we all have that fakeness to us, including myself. It's just our nature, but it doesn't have to be that way. You know, like, I'm not a fake person, but parts of my personality I really need to shore up, whether it's the way I think or whatever. And you know what? It's just who all of us are, including you. I don't care who you are. You know, people like to sit there and talk about this and that. You know, but I will say this. As far as myself goes, I am a real dude in the sense of, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm just gonna tell you how it is, and I'm not gonna talk behind your back. If I'm not man enough to say it to your face, then I'm just gonna walk away. If somebody has a problem with me, I'm not gonna walk. I'm not gonna talk behind your back. I'm gonna pull you aside and be an adult about it. You know, um, but my fakeness comes in where how I feel about certain things concerning myself. It's more self-inflicted than inflicted on other people. Now, do I have the tendency to judge? Sure, and that's not okay either. I could play it off and say, well, we all do it. It's inappropriate. We shouldn't do it. I'm not a big judging person, but I find myself doing it. But so it just doesn't end. It doesn't end, and it never will. I'm sure when you're old and gray, people will find something to judge you for. You know, um, so it just doesn't end. So I don't want you younger people and all that to think, well, just as soon as all this high school nightmare stuff or whatever is over, I'll get older, and people will be more accepting of who I am, and I won't have to sit there and put on a sideshow for anybody. Well, you could think that all you want to, but adults are just big kids. A lot of us, we're insecure kids that just never grew up. Sure, maybe we have more money, maybe car. You know, instead of going to school every day, now we have a job. Like, our lifestyle is our external lifestyle looks mature. We might drive a nice car. We might have a nice home or some kind of home. We might have a decent job. We might have, we might look cool on the outside. But how really, who are you as a person? Because that's what counts. Because all that material stuff, including your job and your home and whatever you have, all that fades away, man. All of it fades away. You want to find out who a person really is? Take away that stuff. Leave them naked. Just give them a couple outfits, and then that's it. Integrity is found in the dark. Integrity is found, obviously, when you find God. But integrity is found when you don't have people rooting you on. Go, 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 go. You don't have a support system. You don't have a family, anyone that you can lean on. That's where integrity is found. That's where being a man or a woman, hardships make you a man or a woman, not having money or clothes or a whole lot of friends or people patting you on the back and saying, "Oh, you're so cool" or whatever. Not even. Definitely not. And obviously I'm not saying, anybody should really enjoy hardships. Of course not. But what makes the flowers grow? The rain. Now, if it was sunny, what happens when it doesn't rain for a long time? Boop, things wilt. The flowers die, the grass turns parched, you got forest fire. It's a mess. Sure, it's awesome because it's sunny outside. Who doesn't want the sun to come out? Everybody does. But if the sun stays out too long, there's no growth, man. But I'm just saying, I don't want to get too deep here, but I'm just saying, so that's all I really want to say, So I just don't want the younger people thinking that, because you know what? I thought that myself too. I thought that myself too when I was younger. I grew up and I was like, yeah, man, all this is going to be over. And you know what? When I was younger, I didn't really have anyone. And if they did it behind my back. So I mean, I always pretty much got along with people, and I'm sure people did stuff behind my back. Of course, I'm not an idiot. Come on, man. Of course, I'm sure people had a heyday behind my back, but it didn't matter because it was behind my back. Really. I mean, what can you do at that point, But so I mean, besides the clown hats never come off. A lot of us are just, so that's the best way to, take away somebody's paycheck, take away somebody's, like we feel important because we drive a nice car or a nicer car than somebody else. We feel important because, our job says so. People might call us doctor or, professor, and we just have that built up pride in us. Strip that person of their doctor and their professor. Strip that person of whatever makes them feel like a man or a woman. You have a lot of people walking around with their chest puffs out, or with their chest puffed out, with their suit and ties on because they're a lawyer or a doctor or a professor or this or that or whatever. Take that away from that person. I'm not wishing anything upon anybody. I'm just saying that's how fake the world is. Our whole identities are based on other people. That's what Hollywood is about. Really. What are these celebrities without their stardom? I mean, Hollywood is on some other stuff. I mean, really, it just doesn't end. I mean, they're puppets to, yeah, I'm not saying everyone, but, that's just something else. I don't even want to bring Hollywood into. Hollywood's a mess. But, I'm just saying, man, really, we have a lot of people walking around here with doctors and lawyers and, this and that, and, even people who go overseas and fight. I'm going to say that because it's true. I mean, look, all due respect, my grandfather fought in World War II. I never fought, a war with guns. No, I never did. But I fought hella wars behind closed doors for years. Okay? But I never put my, my physical life on the line. And I do respect people that do that. I really, really do. But, I'm just saying, you come back home and I'm not saying a lot of people do this. I'm not saying that. But, you get this, you have this label attached to your name, whatever your rank might be. If it's a higher rank, you come back home and it's just, it's hard to shake it. I'm not talking about the job going over and fighting a war is great. Obviously I don't really agree with most wars that happen. I think most wars are in vain anyways, but that's another point for another day. If you fight a war, I respect that. But I'm just using that as just another example, a pro athlete, You know, let's take Tom Brady for example. Tom Brady, you know, do you really think Tom Brady is gonna, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, man. Like people base their identity, you know, you know, a lot of our identity is based on, you know, what society tells us we are. You know, um, you know, society calls us doctor or lawyer or professor or whatever. You know, the greatest football player, the one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, or you know, Michael Jordan or whatever. You know, somebody with some kind of, you know, or just what, you know, whatever you are, whatever you base your identity on. You know, it could be a nice house, it could be a good looking wife. You know, maybe your kids are star athletes, or maybe your kid is really really smarter than all the other kids, so you feel superior to your peers. You know, there's all different kinds of ways to, you know, and then all of a sudden your identity becomes, you know, who your child is. And it's just like our identities are so messed up. It's over here, it's over there. You know, I'm a good basketball player, so my identity, some of it's sprinkled over here. And you know, during the day, you know, I'm a doctor, so it's a little bit over here. And instead of people calling me by my first name, people call me by Doctor So and So, or whatever. You know, I might drive a nice car or something. You know, our identities are all messed up. And why? Because the world is fake. The world will have you believing that you're, you know, a steak dinner, when in reality you're just as empty as any. And you know, you're no one special is what I'm saying. I'm not here to build you up. I'm not even here to break you down. I'm just here to let you know, look, man, you know, you're a person just like me. Okay? You're a person just like me and just like everybody else. I'm not going to sit here and kiss your feet. It's not going to happen. You know, somebody else might, but I'm not going to. You know, now, I mean, calling somebody Dr. So-and-so, I just do it out of force of habit. But I'm definitely not doing it because, you know, I'm laying the red carpet out for this person. Definitely not. Like, what I'm trying to say is society supports narcissism. They support narcissism. You know, and so whatever, I'm just kind of going off on dumb stuff. But that, you know, that's my point. Our identities are all messed up. Our identities are supposed to be in God. They're supposed to be in Christ. That's why we were created. We weren't created for ourselves or one another. Sure, we were meant to love one another. You know, but when your identity is mixed up in your job or your car or your bank account or your wife or your kids, or I'm not saying that you can't enjoy your kids and your job and your car and your, you know, what people call you or what your friends. Those are all beautiful things, but some of those things, you know, they're poison, because somebody calls you doctor long enough, somebody calls you, you know, I don't know, somebody calls you whoever they call you long enough. Anything that makes you feel good, you know, it kind of creeps up on you. It's our human nature. I'm definitely not picking on anybody. You know, you know, everybody is you know, susceptible to that sort of thing. You know, and that's how fake it is. That's how wounded we are. That's how misled we are. That's how sick we are. That's how delusional we are. You're a doctor. You didn't come down here and die for my sins. You're a doctor. You know? Or you're a scientist or whoever, or you might be working a factory somewhere. You know? Like, our identities, you know, that's what's you know, what the problem is with this world. And if you want to find out what somebody is really like, strip them of their identity, whatever that is. Strip them of it. You know? Really. Like, what are you going to do when you wake up and people aren't referring to you as Dr. So-and-so? Well, they've been doing that for the past 20, 25 years. But you're not a doctor anymore. Instead of being a doctor, you're working somewhere else. You're not a doctor, so people ain't going to call you a doctor. How is that going to make you feel? That's going to mess with your head, isn't it? Because you had all this built-up pride. You know, I'm a doctor, and people are calling me Dr. So-and-so, and it just made me feel important, and, you know, because that was your identity. Your identity was in the wrong place. My point is that when our identity is in the world, the world is fleeting. Night turns to day as quick as